Hello, my friends. This is Moot, and I want to talk about empaths. Are you an empath? This video, even though I'm sitting in front of my Rhodes piano, is not a music thing. This is a spiritual thing, and how you can protect your energy if you are the type of individual that naturally absorbs the energy of those around you. That, by the way, is what a true empath is. I know that it's almost become kind of a buzzword in especially like in the spiritual community. Uh, like you hear it a lot, and I think a lot of people don't really understand what it is to be an empath. If you have had a history of boundary issues, like where you did way too much for others, or always felt like you had to like rescue people, if you were just like overtaken with compassion with people to a point that it was like debilitating for you early in life, and generally that is the behavior of an unhealed empath or an unskilled empath. So an empath, just like the character on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like, that was the first time I ever heard of it. But like, you thought, okay, well, that's just some Star Trek stuff. Turns out that Gene Roddenberry was quite often that, and all those successors were quite often ahead of the curve with some of the things, and that at least putting it in the mainstream like that. And so, just because it was in a sci-fi show, it is absolutely a real thing, and it's not to the way they really portray it on there. Like it's certainly. Well, if you're an empath, you know what I'm talking about already. Like it's not like, oh, I can't stop feeling everybody's feelings. That is what happens when you have strong empath traits and you don't know what to do with them. And that's, excuse me. That has certainly been the case with me most of my life, and that's why I'm making this video. Anyway, the technique that I'm about to teach you, and the technique that I'm about to do, because I do this every day, and I haven't done it yet today, this was taught to me by the Rev. Erin-Ashley Kerti, who is like kind of a mentor, a spiritual guide for me. She's got to check out her YouTube. I'll put a link. It's just... and, you see the word psychic, and like I did, I was like, oh boy, poo-pooed it right away, right? Well, I mean, we've really got to redefine that word as well. But that's another, everybody has psychic abilities. And the technique I'm about to show you involves those. But if you're an empath, congratulations, you're a psychic. Because that's what you're doing. You are actually absorbing the energy of others, of other entities that are in close proximity to you. And if you don't learn how to protect yourself from that, you just like pick up all this negative stuff. Because that's another trait of an empath, is that the negative, what am I trying to say? The negative energy that you experience, the anger, the guilt, sadness, fear, those things you might have manifested early in life, but they were projected onto you initially. And you might have a pattern going with them, but they didn't initially come from you. It wouldn't serve our purpose here. We have a particular mission on this planet as empaths. There's probably millions of us by this point. I don't know. But we have things we're to be doing. And this is why you need to learn these skills. so you can stop hurting all the time, because I know how it feels. And I had numerous problems all throughout my life, and you can look back at old videos of me and see, you know, times when I wasn't doing so well. You can just read it all over my face, and it's because I didn't understand how this whole thing works. I'm trying to be concise here. It's a big topic, and I want to jump right into the technique. So it's a technique that I've come to call calibrating the machine, okay? Because you are a spirit walking around in this meat suit, in this body. This is your vehicle, this is your vessel through which you project your consciousness, okay? This is a biocomputer. This brain is a big old computer. And this body, the whole thing is a computer, and you're inside of a giant computer, and it's all a simulation. As within, so without. Whatever you see outside of you is merely a reflection of what is inside of you. There is no outer space. It's all inner space. As far as you could go into the reaches of the universe, they're only a reflection of the depths of what's within. As within, so without. That is a concept that has changed my life, realizing that. When you realize that this experience is for you, life is not happening to you. You're not just being tossed around. I always thought that, like, well, this is my lot in life, just to be, in pain all the time, and have all this emotional pain and stuff, feel like I'm having to be everybody's rescuer all the time, and getting myself into all kinds of just terrible situations because I thought that was what I was, that was like my destiny or something, or my calling. It's not true. You were not called to hurt. You were called to heal hurts. That is what you were here to do as an empath. You are a healer. You are to learn how to deal with this emotional energy and process it and transmute it for the good of all. You are helping to heal the planet just by being here. So don't give up. This will help you. So, you know that there are 7 chakras, right? At least there's 7 that we, there are way more, but like there's 7 that we kind of traditionally recognize, right? So all the way from the root to the crown, what we are going to do is we're going to get into just a short meditation. I got a little drone here that I made, and I'll turn it up a little bit, and we will get right into just a quick little relaxation meditation, because the idea is to just focus your attention on this moment and come into this moment, because this is the only moment that exists. Anything that you're experiencing outside of this moment is a simulation that you are running. And the more, what we're about to do is to allocate all of the resources of this biocomputer to channeling this consciousness. And this moment is the only moment in which that is happening. So that's what we're going to do first. And then that is going to allow us to become aware of all of our energy, because what happens is as we sleep, when we go into REM sleep, we actually are traveling. We're astrally projecting. So we tend to scatter our energy about all over the place. And each day we need to focus and bring all of our energy. We're going to shrink the chakras down to where it's just like one tiny, you imagine it as like a shaft of light between like the earth and the sky, like you are connected to the earth because you're on this earth is kind of the if this is like an MMORPG, this is the server. So Like, so, I mean, you have to imagine all of your chakras being shrunk down. I understand that I use a lot of these, like, kind of silly computer analogies and stuff, but they fit a little bit too well, in my opinion. I think that it's a perfect. That's why we're only now at a point in human history, in the current version of human history, where we can even fathom these concepts, because we actually needed to understand digital computing and now quantum physics, and in order to even have the terminology with which to make analogies about this stuff, about energy and all this. What I'm saying is, it wasn't possible before. So we're going to become aware of all of our scattered energy, and we're going to focus it all in. We're going to shrink down our energy field to the smallest. Erin-Ashley talks about shrinking your chakras down to like the size of a golf ball. I don't actually kind of perceive them as wheels like a lot of people do. Like, I just see it as kind of like just these abstract balls of energy. I don't know. It's not as well defined for me, but this works. So I'm just going to guide you through this, and then after that, we're going to ask our spirit guides to put an egg of light around us, an actual egg of protection. It's we just picture like ourselves inside a sphere, like an egg, and on the outside of the egg is mirrors, and any energy that we encounter, unless we choose to let it in, just bounces right off. I'm telling you, this works. I used to have a problem where I couldn't go into a public place and actually focus sometimes on what I was doing, because I would start I would start reading people's negative stuff, and I would be like, oh, well, that person has an eating disorder, this person just lost a family member. Like, I would be able to read it, and that's exhausting. You want to be able to have a bit of control over that, so you don't take on other people's problems inadvertently and start manifesting pain for yourself. So let's get right into it. I want you to close your eyes. Get into whatever comfortable meditative position that you like. You can even stand up. Whatever is comfortable for you. The idea is to relax. Just breathe with me. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Focus on your breath. Okay. Become aware of this moment. Feel your hands, feel your feet. Wiggle your toes around. Feel yourself in this body. This doesn't have to take very long. All we're doing is becoming aware of the present moment. And once we feel ourselves in this moment, our mind's not wandering. We're not thinking about what we're going to eat. We're not thinking about what we just did, what we've got to do later. We're thinking about right now. Just sitting here, hearing the sounds around us, feeling the air, the temperature in the room, just becoming aware of where we're at right now. Okay. Now, I want you to imagine, I want you to go into your mind's eye and just feel all of your energy, just kind of, it's sort of an abstract concept, but you get better at doing it the more you focus in this present moment and just feel all of you. This is all of your scattered energy. It might be in a huge field, like a cloud all around you. Just kind of feel yourself, the expanse of you. Now, when you're ready, I want you to bring that in tightly. You may even feel it. I actually feel a rush of energy coming up from my solar plexus when I do this. So when you're ready, we're going to just breathe that energy in. And here we are. Now, I want you to just scan your energy field from your root chakra all the way up to your crown. Just just imagine your energy. Just look at it in your mind's eye. Just look at it. And anything that you don't feel is right here, nice and tight, just gather it in. Just imagine it shrinking right down to this tiny band. Do you feel better already? I do. Because we're tightly focused here. We're not scattered. All of our resources are allocated to this moment now. All of our energy is right here in this moment, ready for action, ready for whatever this next moment and the next moment and the next moment may bring. And now, I call upon my sweet guides, my spirit guides, to place the egg of protection around me. And I just imagine that egg now, that sphere, surrounding me 360 degrees like a sphere. And now the only energy that will affect me is that which I allow to affect me. This becomes more automatic and quicker and easier the more you do it. I've gotten to where I can do this within just, a minute or two. And it's become part of my daily routine, and it has changed my life. And if any of this was a little abstract or far out, I apologize. I don't believe in dumbing down terminology and stuff because, like I said, I think we're only now at a point where we have terminology available that even comes close to being adequate to conveying these concepts. But there are ways to break it down, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and bless you all.